Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Prahlad pacifies the Lord with prayers. Text number 47. Rupe me sarasat tava veda shriste. Bijan kuraviva nachanyat arupakasya. Yukta samaksham ubayatra vichakshante tvam. Yogena Vanim iva durushu nanyatasyat. Rupe ime sarasati tavas veda shriste. Bijankuraviva nachanyam arupakasya. Yuktak samaksham ubayatra vichakshante tvam. Yogena vanim iva darushu nanyatasyat. Yukta samaksha ubayatra vichakshante tvam. Yogena vani miva darushana dhyanyatakshyat. Rupe ime sarasati tavadveda shriste. Bijankuravi vanachanyam rupakasya. Ta samaksha ubayatra vichakshante tvam. Yogena vani miva darushunayan yataksyat. Rupam, in the forms. Ime, these two. Sat asati, the cause and the effect. Tava, your. Veda shriste, explained in the Vedas. Bija ankurao, the seed and the sprout. Iva, like. Na, never. Cha, also. Anyat, any other. Arupakasya, of you who possess no material form. Yukta, those engaged in your devotional service. Samaksham, before the very eyes. Ubayatra, in both ways, spiritually and materially. vichakshante, can actually see. Tvam, you, yogena, simply by the method of devotional service. Vanim, fire. Iva, like. Darushu, in wood. Na, not. Anyataha, from any other means. Syat, it is possible. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By authorized Vedic knowledge, one can see that the forms of cause and effect in the cosmic manifestation belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The cosmic manifestation is His energy. Both cause and effect are nothing but energies of the Lord. Therefore, O my Lord, just as a wise man, by considering cause and effect, can see how fire pervades wood, those engaged in devotional service can understand how you are both the cause and effect. Purport. As described in previous verses, many so-called students of spiritual understanding follow the 10 different methods known as Mona, Vrata, Shuta, Tapo, Dhyayana, Swadharma, Vyakya, Raho, Japa, Samadhayaha. These may be very attractive, but by following such methods, one cannot actually understand the real cause and effect and the original cause of everything. Janma Dyasya Yatha. The original source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Himself. Sarva Karna Karnam. This original source of everything is Krishna, the Supreme Ruler. Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchitananda Vigraha. He has His eternal spiritual form. Indeed, He is the root of everything. Vijanam Sarabhutanam. Whatever manifestations exist, their cause is in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This cannot be understood by so-called silence or by any other hodgepodge method. The Supreme Cause can be understood only by devotional service, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati. Elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-21, the Supreme Personality of Godhead says, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahya. One can understand the original cause of all causes, the Supreme Person, only by devotional service, not by show bottle exhibitionism. Ri rupam ime sarasatavad vedashiste bijankura vivavana chanyam arupakasya yukta samaksham ubayatra vichakshante tvam yogena vani vivadarushu nanyatakshyat. By authorized Vedic knowledge, one can see that the forms of the cause of an effect in the cosmic manifestation belong to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the cosmic manifestation is energy. Both cause and effect are nothing but energies of the Lord. Therefore, O my Lord, just as a wise man, by considering cause and effect, can see how fire pervades wood, those engaged in devotional service understand how you are both the cause and effect. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatyade Siddharane. But the dentist, you're behind the pillars. You're trying to hide? I think this usually people go behind the pillow when they want to take a little snooze. This understanding of cause and effect is quite basic. They say, according to Bhagavad Gita, the demons, napravritim cha nivritim cha karya karya bhaya bhaye bandha mokshaya veti buddhisapartha tamasi. That's not right. Well, that's true also. Pravitim cha nritim cha karya karya baya baya. Pravitim cha nivritim cha karya karya baya. Pravitim cha nritim cha. Too many verses with karya karya. Pravitim cha nivritim cha. Janana vidur asara. Yasocham napichacharo, nasatyam teshu vidyate. The asuras, the demons, they don't know what's to be done and what's not to be done. Neither cleanliness, nor truthfulness, nor proper behavior is found in them. Now the Brahminical qualities are, the two main ones are satyam, truthfulness, and socham, cleanliness. Now, without being clean, one cannot be truthful. Because without being clean in mind and consciousness, one cannot know what the truth is. And unless one is truthful, one can actually be clean. Unless one actually knows what the truth is, one cannot actually maintain bodily or even subtle cleanliness. And if one is not clean and is not truthful, one will not know what's to be done and what is not to be done. And one will not be able to have proper behavior. No matter how much one makes a show out of being a gentleman or a lady, deep inside of them, they're on the level of an animal. Maybe a nice animal. Prabhupada said in the jungle there are many animals. Some of them are ferocious like a tiger, and some of them are meek like a deer. But that doesn't mean because one is meek like a deer, then one is not an animal. One is still an animal. And it's not that if one is ferocious like a tiger, then one is any more an animal than a deer. They're both animals. They just have simply different mentalities. But what is the result of not knowing what's to be done, what's not to be done, having not proper behavior or cleanliness or truthfulness? Then the underlying cause is asatyam apratishtam te jagato hora nishvaram aparashparam sambudyam kimanya kamahaituke. They say that the world is unreal. Now, who actually believes that the world is unreal? But they say it's unreal, but they don't act as if it was unreal. If it was unreal, then why do they go to school for so many decades sometimes just to prove everything is unreal? Why does it take so much explanation to prove that something is unreal? If it was unreal, then why would you have to spend so much time trying to prove it, that it's unreal? They say the world is unreal, but they act as if it was the only thing that exists. If it was unreal, then why are they working so hard to make money in it? Why are they working so hard to get a degree in it? Why are they working so hard to enjoy it? If something is unreal, then how can you enjoy it? Try to enjoy it. Why would you want to enjoy it if it's unreal? Because they don't believe it's unreal. They think it's the only thing that's real. They just talk as if it's unreal. They say it's unreal, it has no foundation, it came out of nothing. They don't see anything coming out of nothing, but they claim that everything came out of nothing. So there's a sign of madness. They say it's scientific, everything came out of nothing, but science means that you have a theory. All right, the theory is everything came out of nothing. And you have an experiment. So let us see you do an experiment, and let's see a building come out of nothing. Just do the experiment. Put you in a place where there's a nice vacuum. You do your experiment, and a nice skyscraper comes out with all the people inside. Then we'd be impressed. Yes, me. Could you, since you got a skyscraper and so many people out, could you just do a little more experiment and, manifest a few billion euros for me out of nothing? They claim there's no foundation, but they say that their knowledge is the foundation of everything. Their knowledge of nothingness is the foundation of everything. If you're going to stand on nothing, then you're in trouble. If I throw you out of an airplane and say, just stand on nothing on the way down, you're going to get into trouble. Nothing to stand on, you're going to fall. Similarly, they say there's no foundation, it's all coming out of nothing, so their philosophy stands on nothing, which is what it deserves to stand on. They claim there's a void, but the only void is between their ears. No God in control. Everything they look at is going on with some intelligent control, and yet they say there's no God in control. So are they in control? Who's in control? If the planets are moving their orbits exactly on time, then who's controlling that? They couldn't even put a little diorama in here, and everything would move exactly on time. They can't build a clock, an atomic clock, whatever clock, that's as accurate as the movements of the sun. So who's made the sun? They're trying so hard with all their little intelligence to make one little clock. So who's made the biggest clock? Must be the biggest intelligence. But they claim that's not good. It's not possible. It could have been done by God. It's unfair because he'd be too powerful. And we don't accept anyone more powerful than us. So maybe he should just go away and leave us alone. He could go away and leave us alone, and he'd take the sun, the moon, and everything else with him. We wouldn't be in a very good position. With all our attempts at claiming our prowess, we can't actually do very much. We eat food, we have no idea how it's being digested. It's not by our scientific advancement how food is being digested. By their scientific advancement, they're creating situations by which we can't digest anything. They're creating food that even a machine couldn't digest. And their only conclusion is the motivation behind everything in the material world is sex. There's nothing other higher cause. That you should simply spend your life dedicated to sex, and that's the highest principle. So whether you're a big professor at a university, whether you're a big politician or a sociologist or a poet, or you're a cat on the street, you both have the same highest conception of life, just sex. Therefore, they're etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmana nabudaya pravanya guru karmana shaye jagato hita. Following such conclusions and loss of themselves, they create horrible and beneficial works meant to destroy the world. If one is completely absorbed in lust, if that's the final conclusion, that's the highest truth, then from lust will come greed. Just like nowadays, the greediest people who've cheated everyone else, they're the heroes. The fools that are being cheated are glorifying the people who are cheating them. They just want to be cheated more, that's all. They haven't been cheated enough. They're hoping the scientists will create something so they can live in a world of virtual reality. This world is not very good. They've been cheated out of all their resources. So now they want them to create a world where they can make-believe world. They say the devotees are escaping. Yes, we're escaping from your crazy world that you created. We're going back to the spiritual world, and you're also escaping. You're going into your fairy world, where you're going to suffer even more. You're going to create a fantasy world where you think you're the controller, but you're just being manipulated. You're wasting your human form of life by the persons who are creating these things to control you. But they're blind. They've lost their vision, and therefore andaya tandir apikam manyas Te pisha tantra rudami bara. They're blind, and therefore they're following other blind people with the idea that they'll finally reach the happiness that they're looking for. They don't know that the goal of life is to reach Vishnu, Krishna. But we, the Hare Krishna movement, we know that the ultimate truth is a person. That's why we're also persons. Darwin says we came from monkeys. But as we know, that everyone has a father and mother, and I don't think anyone here has a father and mother who's a monkey. Did anyone here come from a monkey? Someone raising their hand over there. No, our fathers and mothers were persons, and their fathers and mothers are all persons. So where in history we find that from human beings, monkeys have come? It's only an imagination. It's not science, it's science fiction. Therefore, if we conclude that the original father, the original source of everything, is a person, that's why we're persons. From impersonal, you don't find something personal coming. So therefore, the original father must be a person also, the original source. And if he's the original source, he's controlling time, he's controlling the planets, so he's also controlling our ignorance, our conditioned life. And only by his desire can we understand him. Fighting against him, Bhayam dvitiya viniveshatasya ishara bhatasya viparyo smriti. When we want to make believe that we don't need him, we have our own plans and that we're going to fulfill them and be happy here, then we become fearful because we have to identify ourselves with this gross and subtle body, which is on the point of dying. Today or tomorrow in 50 years, very shortly it has to die. Therefore, well, as soon as we make plans to be happy in this material world, then we have to make plans, then we have to face the fact that we have to die. And everything we make plans to achieve, everything that we will achieve by those plans will disappear along with my body. Therefore, Bhayam, everyone in this material world is fearful. Dvitiya biniveshatasya. Why are we fearful? Because abhatasya viparyo smriti. We've switched roles with Krishna. Instead of serving Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna, we've taken shelter of material body and material conceptions, which are all temporary and miserable and ignorant. And therefore we're always fearful because of that. But Bhayam dvitiya vineveshatasya abhatasya viparyo smriti. But our memory can be returned if we take shelter of Krishna. If we want to find out who we actually are, what we're actually supposed to be doing, then Krishna will give us that intelligence if we show some desire to come to that platform. And if we want to act as if we're this body, as if we're the master of the world, then Krishna will give us so much intelligence that we'll never remember him. We'll never be able to accept that there's a superior, supreme person. And that just imagine everything else that's going on in this universe is all by accident, as our learned scientists tell us. There's no higher goal in life than make money and enjoy the senses to the utmost. And when you die, that's the end. So Krishna will give us so much intelligence, we'll believe that. Same intelligence that any cat or dog has. And we'll be happy because we'll be happy with the cats, other cats and dogs. Have a nice association with all the cats and dogs. And next life we'll become a cat or a dog. But cats and dogs, they don't get along with each other. They fight and scream. You bring a whole bunch of cats and dogs here and say, can you please live peacefully in the temple? That will not be possible. They'll simply scratch and bite each other. So we want to live in such a cat and dog society that we want to scratch and bite each other, and next lifetime get a nice body, better body to scratch and bite even better. Then we can accept the atheistic, materialistic philosophy and follow accordingly. So I'll stop there. Thank you. What was the first question? Or the second one?
Hare Krishna. Here in the verse is mentioned that cause and effect are energies of the Lord. What exactly this is meant? How can you understand this?
There's always a first cause, second cause, third cause. And from the cause comes an effect. In other words, something causes, someone does something, that's the cause, and then there's going to be effect. But the original cause that starts everything out is Krishna. So he's the original cause, and everything else is his energies, and therefore he's also the effect. So he's both the cause and the effect. Everything goes on is by his will, and he's the original cause, making it all happen. Just like Krishna says, let there be creation, and then he empowers Brahma, and Brahma creates the planet. And the planet moves and affects the other planets who also move. Like the sun affects the other planet. They move and they rotate, and then you get people rotating on it. So the original cause behind the fact that you have planets, you have Brahma, and there is Krishna. And the effects of Brahma, the planets, and everything else. But they're all Krishna's energies. Like a spider creates the web. So the spider is still there, but the web appears. So the cause of the web is the spider. The effect is the web, the cause is the spider.
And the energy in this analogy?
The energy?
Yeah, because it's referring to the energy of the...
Well, Krishna is the source of all energy.
So yeah, web is then energy of the spider. In that sense.
Where did it come from? It came from Krishna. The energy, the spider eats some food, eats the fly that lands on it. It gets energy. Where the fly came from? It came from Krishna. So Krishna sent the fly so he can get some energy to make this.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.